fall off. Now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out. Talking just to feel heard, I never listen, although they say it's strictly. Welcome back to the segment. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's Quick Hits with Shannon Smith. So we're going to do what is called Get the Pass, which is an introduction of our speaker here, of a man that we're introducing. So who I have here is a graduate from Appalachian State University with an electronic media / broadcasting degree and a minor in criminal justice. He's going to be the host of Schneider's Cafe. Everyone give it up for Aaron Schneider. So Aaron, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm super happy to be on today, Shannon.
Hey, man, I'm glad you were able to do it. So what I'm going to be doing is asking you a few questions. I'm going to get some sports questions as well, because this is a sports broadcast as well, too. So two things I didn't say about Aaron here is that Aaron was second in our fantasy football league, or out-of-pocket fantasy football league that we had, the league that I should have won, number one.
I should have won. I only lost by 20 points.
Yeah, only 20 points. Yeah,
I think
definitely, man. I think you're right, though, for real, because it was nip and tuck. It was neck and neck, and it came down to the wire. So, and also, Aaron is second in our Boom Broadcasting Deep Voice contest. I won it. So, Aaron, unfortunately, come in second, but it's all good. It is what it is. So, we'll go ahead and get down to business. We'll go ahead and start this. When I was told that you were going to be doing a cooking show, I was interested right then. I was like, man, this is great. This is going to be different. So, but I got some questions for you, man. So my first question is, when did you develop a passion for cooking?
Well, Thanksgiving was always a huge deal in my family, so I'd be helping my grandma out, even with just little stuff like tearing up the bread for stuffing, cutting vegetables, just little things, because I was only a kid, so I really couldn't do anything else. And then she'd slowly let me do more stuff, like help out with, the pumpkin pie, apple pie, all that. And from there, I developed a interest in cooking, which led me to get a job in a kitchen. And I've been doing that work for about 5 years now.
Nice. That is cool. So, so you said your grandma, so she was the one that was responsible for teaching you, right?
Yeah, she taught me some smaller things, just little stuff. But I feel like a lot of what I learned was from working in restaurants, working for some super talented chefs who'd been in the industry for decades and were more than willing to share their knowledge with me.
Man, that's cool. So you had other hands helping you with the cooking process, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool, cool. Now, here's a little embarrassing thing about me here. I was one of those guys who thought that I learned a little bit and knew a little bit when I got out on my own and started living on my own. Well, I was cooking one night, and unfortunately, I set off the fire alarm in my house. So that wasn't fun. It wasn't fun when the fire department came, especially considering the fact you're a volunteer firefighter as well, too. And that happens. So that was kind of rough. So any embarrassing cooking stories that you have?
I do have a couple that stand out to me. One time I was making banana pudding, and you know how vanilla extract and peppermint extract have a really similar bottle? I
Yes.
accidentally used peppermint instead of vanilla. So So I kind of ruined a whole batch of banana pudding. It was rough. That was bad.
I mean, here you were probably thinking that everything was good, everything was made, and then all of a sudden everybody starts tasting it, and you see faces and everything change.
It was rough.
Oh man, I bet so. I mean, banana pudding is something that I love to make. So you mess that up for me, we gonna have a problem there, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I feel like I was more upset with myself than anybody else was.
And that's understandable. You make something, you're good at it, and then all of a sudden it comes out bad. I definitely get it. So, with that being said, what is your favorite method of cooking? Do you prefer grilling? Do you like stovetop, bacon? What's up?
Oh, I like it all. It really just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Just the other day I had a cookout with some friends and I was grilling for a couple hours. That was great. But I mean, I really like doing it all. I have the least experience with baking, but that's something that I want to learn more about and something that I might experiment a little bit with this show that I'm doing.
Oh, that's nice right there. That's nice. So you got a wide array of things that you do, and I'm looking forward to that. So next thing I want to ask is, what is your signature dish? If there is something that Aaron Schneider makes that nobody can make better than Aaron Schneider, what is it?
Uh, Braised beef short ribs. That's one of my favorite things to make. Really good. And as far as the sides with it, I like doing a collard greens and potato salad usually. I think I don't want to sound too cocky, but I'm going to be cocky here for a second. I don't think anyone makes a better potato salad than I do.
Ooh, oh, is that so? Oh man, I like it.
Out
When
of
you
all the ones
said
I've tried, and I eat a lot of potato salad, nothing's better.
yo, you had me with the short ribs and the collards right there, man. You really got me. The country boys coming out of me. So, yo, that sounds amazing. So, last part asking about your show here. So, what can we expect as the viewers here? What can we expect from your show?
No, I'm going to be making a lot of different stuff, a wide range of foods, some grilling stuff, maybe some pizzas. I got a little wood fire pizza oven for Christmas. Gonna love to do some stuff with that. And I also want to cover a lot of different cuisines and also expand my knowledge and learn along with the audience. Like I don't want to put myself so far above everybody like I'm better than them. I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't know everything, but I know some stuff. And for what I don't know a lot about, come learn with me and have fun together.
Hey, I like the sound of that. So this is going to be it's going to be experimental. Is it going to be showing your expertise, or what's that?
It's gonna be a blend. I have the few things that I got down pat. I can sleep. And then there's some things that I really want to learn how to make. I'm not going to say what yet. I have some ideas in my head, but I just want to expand the variety of things that I can cook.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I was interested before this interview, and now I am really interested now. Especially when you said you got the brick oven pizza maker, and I love some pizza. So I'm looking forward to this. I want to be up in the kitchen with you while you're doing this, so I can get like a sample. You know what I'm saying? If you want like
Mhm.
guests on there, I would love to be a guest, a taste tester. I'd love that more than anything. So hey, if you need that, hey, you know where to go. You know where to go.
Got
But
you. I'm
with this
moving to
being
Ohio in a month though, so
what?
yeah, that might be a little
Hey, I'm gonna
tricky.
drive. Hey, I'm cool with driving.
I got you.
I'm okay with
If you want to be a guest, I got you.
that. Oh, you know it, man. Now, with this being a sports podcast, of course, from me, I gotta ask you some sports questions. We've talked sports before on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis, so got to talk some sports. So, when we were talking beforehand, you said that football is your favorite sport. So, out of all the sports, why is football your favorite?
Growing up, the Super Bowl was as big as any holiday. We would we would sit down, me, my brother, and our parents. We'd always make a run to the grocery store, get all kinds of snacks and food, and we'd sit and watch the whole game. I remember one time they wouldn't let me watch the game on the couch because I wasn't rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're all from
Whoa.
Pennsylvania. So like, we took it seriously.
I understand. I mean that's understandable. I understand it, but I don't understand it if that makes sense. But that would be rough, man, not being able to watch it in the room. But it's all good. It
No,
is what
they
it
just
is.
made me
But
sit on the floor. I could still watch the game with them. I
oh,
just had to sit on the
oh,
floor.
oh! I thought you had to go like in another room or something. I get it
No.
now. Okay, cool, cool. So you still got to watch the game, still got to see it,
Mhm.
and that's cool. Do you remember what Super Bowl that was?
It was the Steelers and Seahawks. I can't remember what year it was, but
Okay,
That was the
okay.
first
And
one I
so
can
that's
clearly
cool.
remember.
Okay, okay. Well, that's what's up. Now, you also told me that you're a Carolina Panthers fan, rar. So, of course, I got to ask you, of all the Panther players, who is your favorite Panther of all time?
That was honestly the hardest question that you would ask me. There's 3 guys that come to mind right off the bat. Steve Smith Sr., I mean, he's phenomenal. The wide receiver of his stature to play as hard as he does, and he wasn't afraid to get in someone's face. Guy's only 5'9". I mean, how can you not love that kind of toughness and tenacity out of someone? And then the other 2
Hmm.
are Luke Kuechly and Cam Newton. I feel like Luke Kuechly is one of the smartest linebackers we've ever seen. I mean, it felt like nobody could read a defense like he could when he was in the league. It was ridiculous. I mean, you see videos of him
Hmm.
calling out the plays before they run it, and it's exactly what he called out. You don't see that a whole
Hmm.
lot. It was phenomenal to watch. And I was so sad when he retired, and the Panthers have never been the same since. It's terrible. And then, I mean, Cam Newton, MVP, carried a really rough Panthers offense to Super Bowl 50, which is insane. He had Jonathan Stewart and Greg Olsen, who were 2 phenomenal Panthers too. They were great that year. But you look at his wide receiver core, it's just not what you expect out of the best offense in the league. They were putting up 31 points per game that year, which was remarkable given who they had.
Oh, absolutely. I remember that receiving core. Ted Ginn Jr. was a guy that I could not stand because he was a former 49er. That's my squad. But Ted Ginn would drop passes like nobody's business in San Francisco, but he was catching everything in Carolina. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Streaking down the field and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. You couldn't do that in San Francisco. And you fast too on top of that? You're killing me. So
Mhm.
I can understand that. Those 3 are solid players. I would say Mount Rushmore for me as well too. When it comes down to the Panthers, probably Mount Rushmore to anybody out there being fans of the team or fans of football in general. I see Cam in a lot of comparisons about mobile quarterbacks. Who would you rather have? Him, Vic, Lamar Jackson, and that's tough there. Because Cam was a different player, but he was the same player at that. Cam being so big and so strong, hard to take down in the open field. I get it. Luke Kuechly is definitely one of the smartest linebackers of all time. And Steve Smith, that heart is impenetrable. Definitely one of the best receivers out there to do it. So next question is, what is your favorite Panther moment?
That's tough. I remember I believe it was 2014. Well, outside of the Super Bowl run, I can't have that as the best moment because we got embarrassed in Super Bowl 50. So I can't really include that because it was nice up until the end. But I believe it was 2014. They won the division with a 7-8-1 record and played the 11-5 Cardinals in the wild card, and they just killed the Cardinals, just whooped them. I think Trey Boston had a pick 6 or something that game. That was just beautiful to watch coming in as a team with a losing record, won the division. Oh, the NFC South was terrible. They're not going to do anything. And then they just whoop them. It was beautiful.
Oh, it was. I think that was the next, and I think the next week, I might be wrong. Didn't y'all play Seattle and do the same thing? I think it was. It was Seattle. I might have got those
I
years wrong. I
don't,
might
I
have.
think we went out in the divisional round that year, if I remember correctly. It
Okay. Okay.
was, maybe we lost to San Francisco. I can't remember.
Yeah, my
I think I
49ers
think
more than likely,
Kaepernick
but it's
I think Kaepernick killed us that year is what that was.
yeah, that was an emotional game for me because I do have an affinity for the Panthers as well too. Living in the Carolinas and being a 49er fan at that time, I do have an affinity for the Panthers. So it was tough watching that game. My dad's a big Panther fan. My sister and my niece, they're Panther fans as well too. So it was rough watching that game and watching your family members. Mom is a Miami fan, and mom was talking junk to everybody, so it really didn't matter. So it was just rough
At least
watching
you
that
could just
game. It
have
was
fun no
rough
matter
seeing
what
that.
happened.
Absolutely. That's what it was. She was just wanting to see the divide and watch the fireworks go off is what it was with mom. That's just how my mom is though, for real. But now let's focus to this year. How are you feeling about this Panthers squad going into training camp?
I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. The last few years have taught me to not go into any offseason with too much optimism. I went into a little too confident and good Lord, backfired. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I like that the staff has invested in some good offensive line, spent big money to get Bryce Young protected, drafting Leggett, trading for Deontay Johnson from the Steelers. I think that's really going to help his development. And also Jonathan Brooks, I think, will be huge for Young having a good running back who he can lean on if the passing game isn't working on any given week.
Oh yeah, I like it. Some of the moves that have been made by the Panthers have been really good. I think they had a good draft. I think they are invested in Dave Canales, the coach, and he's looking to work with Bryce Young right out the gate. And I think that that is incredible. That they got that coach. I think that he might be a sleeper if he's able to do something in Carolina. He may be a sleeper pick with coaches. So I'm looking forward to that as well too. Now, speaking of that, what player are you watching this season?
There's 2, 3 guys that I think will be really important. I think Jonathan Brooks, like I mentioned earlier, I think we see him take over starting running back duties for Miles Sanders relatively quickly because Sanders had a kind of disappointing season last year, if we're being honest. He had flashes, he looked all right at times, and Hubbard as well. He just doesn't strike me as a running back one in the league. And then Akeem Ekwonu, he needs to play like he was a top draft pick. He was abysmal. So he needs to turn it around now. Having a elite left tackle is essential in this league. And as we saw last year, I mean, it felt like every other play he was either getting run over or it was a false start or holding. It was painful to watch.
I understand that when you're not getting communication from your offensive line, when you're having the miscues, when you're having the 5 yards taken away from your total offense, just mental errors and small mistakes can really kill a football team. Those small mistakes can build each other up. So I understand what you're saying. So last but not least, what are your expectations for the team this season? What would you want to see?
I feel like realistic win total 5, 6 wins, but we see guys develop. You know, hopefully Xavier Leggett looks good after Jonathan Mingo last year was less than ideal for a second round pick. Let's just put it like that. But I really just want to see young guys develop, some of the veteran signings pan out, and hopefully it feels like this team. I want to see this team develop an identity because I feel like we haven't had that for years. We lost the culture as a team. There's nothing that binds the players together and makes them want to go out and play hard and be proud to play for the Carolina Panthers. So hopefully Dave Canales can bring some of that back that we had seen before when Carolina was fighting for division titles on a regular basis.
Oh, I understand that. So, Aaron, that concludes everything. Would you like to give a shout out to anyone? Tell us where we can find you.
Well, you can see down there, find me on Twitter or X at Aaron V. Schneider. Stay tuned for my show. I'm looking at launching weekly episodes in early August. I got to get moved up to Ohio and settled in, but hopefully I should be able to hit the ground running once I get up there. And shout out to Boom Broadcasting and Michael Davis for inviting me to be a part of the channel and letting me have my own show. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, we are looking forward to it too. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, Aaron, I'd like to thank you for being a part of this interview. This is the first interview that I've done for
I'm
Get the
finally first in
Pass
something.
for my second. Hey, you know what? That's fine with me. I might get you a trophy. Who knows? So,
Please.
on behalf of on behalf of Quick Hits, on behalf of myself, thank you very much for being a part of this interview, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, man.
No problem.